Alright guys, hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today, we're gonna be going over my next series of books that I have. The gang go to college, and this series is called College Creeps. And now this first one is called Collegerampus instead of College Campus. Just a couple play on words. The first week of college gets interrupted by a phantom attacking the students. So this book starts off with them solving a mystery with Daphne's cousins, Ellie Mae and Jethro, and they were just names that I had because we were doing the Beverly Hillbillies at that moment in time. So I just thought of those names to be Daphne's cousins. And then they go to college 6 days later. Then the Shaggy and Scooby are going to meet up with the gang and stuff, and they all split up, and then Shaggy and Scooby follow Velma, and then also there is the Krampus, and then they run, and then Fred's just trying to get some alone time with Daphne because they're in love and they don't have much time together here because just then. So he just wants alone time with Daphne. And then Scooby and Shaggy find a hanging Velma, and then they're like, oh no, this is really serious, this is a maniac guy. And then, and when they unmask the monsters, it's Velma and her dad, just to be a little prank on them on their first day into college. And so, yeah, it's just, I like all these books. It's just basically a story just to tell you where these guys are at, and this was just a story to be like, this is where we're at college. Now the real story begins with a book 2. This one is called Dog vs. Rodog. A robot that looks like Scooby is terrorizing the kids on campus. Velma and Shaggy both have robotics class. Fred moved out of their dorm because Shaggy, Fred, and Scooby were all in the same dorm, but then Fred moved out, and so, yeah. And so Fred goes, Anyway, Shaggy and Velma go to robotics, but then Scooby disappears, and then there's a robot dog there. And then the college cop gets there and tries to take Scooby away, and so now they're gonna have to try to clear Scooby's name. But then more danger, more chaos happens. They figure out that the college cop is related to Roger because they both say you shouldn't use like in front of your sentences that much. And then we figure out that Roger is the guy, and Roger was told to make Scooby look bad by a mastermind. And yeah. Alright, now this one is called Monster Inception instead of Court is in Session. When Shaggy goes to court, a monster attacks out of nowhere. Harry comes in and is like, I'm here to be a lawyer to Shaggy. But then later on, he and his father fills in for him. Then Shaggy gets mad by saying, it's not me, slams the desk, and a slime monster appears. The gang go to the college cop to see if they can give him any information, but it's not the same college cop. Roger's father got fired because he helped the gang and told the gang about the mastermind. And more chaos ensues. They slip into Gibby's little manor, little hideout, and Shaggy sees a little shrine and rips it down. There's something else there, and then they run into Harry with a little device that can control something that makes it into something and it makes something else, and then they trap Harry, and Harry was the monster. And he said, and then Harry and Roger talk about the masterminds. In the next book, we have Scooby Doo and Not So Silent Library. A new comic comes to Velma's library with a villain with a big arms coming to life. And so this new villain is coming off a Blue Falcon comic book, Blue Falcon and Big Arm Bandy. And so Shaggy's in love with it, and so is this girl Nancy. And Velma's having to go to work because Nancy said she was calling in sick or putting her dog down. But then the big iron monster attacks. Fred and Shaggy Fred and Daphne are working out, they're running, so they got some cool workout attire on. And then the Big Arm Bandit's quoting the book, so that's how they know that it's a mega fan. Yeah, and then they figure out that it's Nancy, and then they get a trap ready, and then Nancy's like, yeah, it was part of a bigger plan. And then Gibby's in there, and for some reason, and so, yeah, so Gibby's suspicious. And so that's when Gibby becomes suspect number 1. Now we got Creep on the Court with a zombie. Fred's first game gets canceled after a basketball piece tags. Yeah, so basically it's just Fred's first game, the gang is all there, and then the zombie man is there to scare anyone off if they ever go down the mastermind's hallway to the mastermind. And also Harry was talking to the mastermind, and then some suspects later and some chaos later, and then Harry says that someone close to you guys is at risk, and then they figure out that Dale is at risk because they're all close to Dale, and that's what book 1 was basically telling you, but then they also tell you in the book. And then it turns out that the two other basketball players that were bashing or harassing Fred were the monsters, but not part of the mastermind's plan. The person part of the mastermind's plan was the coach who told the kids to do it, and so, yeah. Here is the next book of number 6, Dorm Danger with the Dino, with the dinosaur. The girls get split up from dorms. Daphne's dorm gets attacked by a Jurassic monster. So, yeah, Daphne has to go to a new dorm. Daphne's new roommate is Sam, and Sam goes into her room to change for work, but then it gets attacked by the dinosaur. But then they figure out that she's a stunt coordinator, and so she's pulling all these stunts with Emmett. Emmett is the stunt coordinator, which would know how she would attack, and so he would hit her, and then she would go flying, and so he's the stunt coordinator. And I think it's all part of Gibby's plan to get them split up so that the dorm dino can attack Daphne and get Daphne away from her. But then at the end of the book, Gibby's like, hey, look, they're putting the mask on that person, and to frame them. Alright, so in this next book, book 7, it's called Fright Show. It's not a magic show. Gibby is now wanting them out of prison so that he could be like, oh hey, I'm trying to warm up to Velma. So how do I try to warm up to Velma? I try to warm up to everyone else. And so I need to get them out of prison. And so he does with a magic monster. Then craziness happens with magical spells, chasing down hallways. And then Scooby and Shaggy want to get some food, and then this guy named Scott does a magical spell and makes more food, and then becomes suspect number 1. And then eventually later they trap the monster, and then it's Scott. And then Scott says, yeah, Gibby wanted me to do this. And then they go talk, and then they're like, but how does Gibby have the power to fire people? And then so they go to the principal, and the principal is related to Gibby. And then Fred has an idea, if Gibby can frame us, then we can reverse it onto him. So they're like, let's make a video and show the cops that footage. And so, in this next book, episode 8, BTM, Behind the Mask, as the gang try to clear their names by filming a short film, a famous killer comes to life to stop their progression of the film. And the famous killer is Jason without his mask. And so the gang are all getting ready to make this film and movie and stuff with Shaggy dressed as Gibby. Roger is helping them out with this polka dot monster, but then when Daphne comes back to get him, Jason has him killed. I didn't read through this one. I read through all these other ones, but I didn't read through this one. Then Jason runs away from Shaggy because he's dressed like Gibby, and he's like, if Gibby's here, I gotta go. And they found barbecue and ketchup blood, and then they have to run away from the monster. I didn't read through this one. I probably should have just read through it. I should have just read through them all. Okay, and then they trap the monster, and then they're like, okay, now we just put the mask on this guy. Oh, and then, okay, so apparently Roger is also now a cousin. He says it's hard to get away from cousins. I thought you wanted to stop Gibby. I do, because he's fired my dad. Now, in this next book, episode 8, Alien Academy. Don't know why I did it that way, but as Vilma teams up with Gibby, an alien attacks Gibby, and so yeah, they finish editing the video and all that, and then they're gonna go show it to the cops. And Velma's trying to see for him, like, I see why he's doing this. He just wants love, and I just keep going away from him. And then Gibby, I guess, was listening in, and long enough for you to like me. Scooby Doo and Shaggy are going to sleep. They see an alien spacecraft, and looks like Fred is about to punch Gibby. Yeah, and there's probably like some stupid thing that I actually made it actually Gibby in the costume. And so, yeah, turns out that Gibby was the alien, and then whoever was Gibby, whoever Velma was working with was not Gibby, and so not Gibby ran off, and so now Fred's like, oh crap, now we gotta catch not Gibby. Ooh, okay, so this whole thing is, why would I suit up for my own plan? So we figured out in this book that Gibby wasn't Gibby this whole time. All these books, he was not Gibby. It wasn't Gibby, it was his father with a mask. And so Gibby did this whole alien thing to be like, yeah, it's that Gibby wasn't me. He broke out from wherever his father was keeping him. It was like that, and then he dressed up as an alien to show the gang that Gibby wasn't Gibby. This next one is called The Crocodile King. The gang go to the Norton mansion to confront Ken, but in doing so, a crocodile man attacks. So they're all freaked. I didn't read these, dude. I should have just read all of it, dude. They find a secret room revealing the crocodile monster, and then they all run, and then Scooby Doo and Shaggy dress up as cool looking guys. Ken is controlling the crocodile man. They're fun. Come on. What? I should have read through these. Then Gibby moves on. And yeah, he's like, oh no, I found feelings for another girl. And so, yeah. And then they're all like, we can still be friends. I should have just kept reading through all the books. Alright guys, hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did, leave a big like down below. If you guys haven't already, please check out one of these 2 videos. This is the playlist of all the stories, so you can get caught up through all the books. And this one is my latest video now. And then subscribe in the middle. 2 more series left. Terrifying Travels, and then Supernatural Summer. Peace.